Hello, my name is Glenn Dyer. Now, there are several films out this year that aren't really that good or that bad, but instead, they're somewhere in the middle. They leave so little in impact that you can't help but say, meh. So this is the top 10 of those from 2016. The important thing with the meh list is how I order them. This is done semi-randomly, and there is a reason for this. I started this last year, and I'm going to do it again because I think it worked out pretty well. Essentially, I'm just going to kind of choose randomly, because from a list of 10 that I've got here. Because essentially, the ones that I look over when choosing randomly are clearly, at least subconsciously, less interesting. So I guess I'm just gonna try and pick based on how much I can talk about them, because whatever remains is the most meh. So let's get started. Number 10. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. Well, this was supposed to appear on the worst list by my predictions, but it did appear on a list, and it wasn't the best one, so I wasn't completely off. And also Deadpool appeared on the best list, but I forgot to mention that. But still, yeah! So, yeah, I guess I just overestimated how bad this movie would be. It really wasn't. It was mostly just an uninspired sequel. There's not that much more to say about it. As I said in review, if you kinda like the first movie, you'll probably like this one. Is that really okay? Like, they got together all these old actors to reenact their life story or whatever, to relive the glory days. And this is what they produce? Something that's subpar? That's sad. And that's kind of what the meh list is. It's real sad. Number 9. Ben-Hur. I wouldn't say this had a lot of potential, but no, it didn't have that much potential. Why did somebody decide to remake this? Not that many people are into Ben-Hur. Hate to break it to you. And certainly the advertisements, which, from what I can tell, like, at least with the still advertisements, like posters, it was just that same shot of the main character doing a derpy face on a chariot. It's not going to entice many people, I'm sad to say. So, what was the thought process here? They spent a bunch of money on this, but nobody went to see it. For good reason. There's not much reason to see it. It's a decent action film. I don't know, maybe this is the Waterworld of the year. There's a lot of money spent on it. It was alright. But, I don't know, maybe, it seems like people have been less pissed off at it, at least. Number 8. Race. There's not much to say on this one. It's about a guy in the Olympics. It's a black guy. And he's racing in the Olympics that took place in Nazi Germany. Like, interesting, but not very well executed. Overall, it just kind of, it just doesn't leave much of an impression. As I said, there's not much to say about the movies on this list, so just gonna have to kind of bear with me. This is definitely one of the weaker of the based on a true story movies this year. But clearly not the weakest. Number 7. The Angry Birds movie. Yes! All three of them! All three of them are on a list! Yes! There's not much to say about the Angry Birds movie, like I thought. It's a pretty stock story. There's this one angry bird who's left out of the group, and eventually his skills are needed to save them. Like, it's not infuriating or anything. It's not like Trolls, where everybody in the whole fucking world is trying to convince him to change, and eventually changing is good. Like, in this one, it actually is the kind of story that I would have preferred with Trolls, where they realize that his character actually helps them a little. But still, overall, it's very forgettable. I suppose the Emoji Movie's gonna be kind of similar to that too. But honestly, I don't like to think that that exists. Number 6. The Light Between Oceans. Tragic story about somebody who lives in a lighthouse. It's okay. I'm sure you'd like it if you went to see it. But damn it if you'd have anything to talk about a week later. Number 5. The Choice. This is one of those Nicholas Sparks romance stories, and as always, it's okay. Honestly, I've never thought his movies were bad, just kind of cliche in a way. And this is certainly that. It was somewhat enjoyable at the time, not gonna lie, but as things go on, there is nothing to say. Nothing to say at all. Nothing interesting about the plot, nothing that remarkable. Hell, even the name, it doesn't... The Choice, it's incredibly generic. Number 4. The Finest Hours. Now this one I did expect to be lower, but I guess my brain just picked that a little sooner than I thought. Damn, this is Disney at its worst. This is pretty much what I'd describe as a Disney live-action film, like something that could have been kind of interesting, that's completely watered down and devoid of character. The story itself is kind of cool, but once again, as the movie presents it, it doesn't hold water. Ha ha. Number 3. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Forgive me, but I don't entirely recall what happened in this movie. I think it's like Tina Fey goes to Afghanistan or something, and things happen. It's based on a documentary. Extremely forgettable. Number 2. Priceless. I think it's about sex slaves. I just remember it was shot very flat and the music sucked. See, this is the problem. As the list goes on, there's less and less to talk about. So, now moving on. Before number 1, we have the honorable mentions. Honorable? Finding Dory, the most uninspired of the Pixar films that I've seen in a while. Except for maybe The Good Dinosaur, but that's a different story. Definitely not one of the highlights of the year. The reason it kind of missed this list is just the laziness of it, I suppose. It brought it to a different level of meh. So, ironically, can't put it on the list. Star Trek Beyond. A lot of people loved it. They gave a lot of good reasons, but damn it if I can find any reason to love it. To me, I guess it's the best of the trilogy, but at no point did I really feel excited or even that enthused about what was going on. It just felt like another run through the recipe, but this time they're a little better at the recipe, so it tasted slightly better, but not enough for me to have any kind of enthusiasm for it. Dirty Grandpa. This movie's also boring and completely forgettable and terrible and Zac Efron, but no, that's it. It got off the list because I don't know, I was slightly disgusted by it, and I guess showing some kind of an emotion automatically disqualifies you from the list. So, the combo of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and Doctor Strange. Mostly because I see them as pretty much the same film, by the numbers, not very interesting, several mistakes, could have been better, blah 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 blah. And the number 1 most meh film of 2016 is The Bounce Back. It's a rather recent one from what I remember, and completely boring. And the saddest part about that is that I think this was funded by like a GoFundMe page. And the main character, he made a lot of promises, including having some of the backers go onto Criminal Minds and meet the cast and stuff. And then he was booted off the cast, and like he couldn't give that to him, I guess. But still, it was breaking promises. So there's dirty dealings in the backstory of this movie. And also, it's boring as shit, and why did people donate to this? I saw the GoFundMe page, and even the GoFundMe, it didn't look that interesting. God, I barely remember the plot. I just remember it was a really hokey romance film. And I guess that's the sort of thing that makes the meh list. So, I'm gonna leave you with my prediction for next year's most meh. Hopefully it's also on the list, or maybe even #1. And, I'll see you for more meh and good and horrible movies in 2017.
That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the empty